Hello, how's everyone doing today? I want to thank everyone for coming out. My name is Juanita Hunt, and I will be giving a presentation on human trafficking in Africa. In your hand, you have a PowerPoint that is about human trafficking. Did you know that human trafficking is the third largest international crime industry behind illegal drugs and arms trafficking? It reportedly generates a profit of $32 billion every single year. Approximately 600,000 to 800,000 people are trafficked across the international borders every year. 80% are female and half are children. During this presentation, I will be talking about what human trafficking is, the impact it has on Africa, and the measures that we can use to help prevent it. So, what exactly is human trafficking? Well, according to the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, human trafficking is recruitment, transportation, transfer, and harboring, or receipts of persons by means of threat or the use of force. Well, forms of coercion, of abduction, or fraud, or deception, or the abuse of power, of a position of vulnerability. The giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person. Having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. Exploitation shall include, at a minimum, the exploitation of the prostitution of others or other forms of sexual exploitation, forced laborers of services, slavery, or practices that are similar to slavery, servitude, or the removal of organs. Okay, since we have gone over what human trafficking really is, we will now talk about the economic and social impact that it has had on Africa. It is no surprise that there has been a global economic crisis on the horizon. So, the demand for cheap labor is now at an all-time high. People who go out and look for jobs that are far away from other countries, they get tricked into trafficking, or forced labor, or even sexual exploitation. Human trafficking in Africa has a gross domestic product of $159.9 billion US per year, which is 4 times larger than any surrounding country. The social impacts placed on Africa from human trafficking includes the spread of disease such as AIDS, HIV, pregnancies, unsafe abortions, and even death. So, when people are forced into human trafficking, they are often living in conditions worse than any they have ever been exposed to. So, therefore, their lifespan is going to be shortened. Okay? So, next, we will go over some measures that have been taken to prevent human trafficking and what can still be done. Some preventive measures that have been taken against human trafficking include radio and video, public service announcements to help warn these people about human trafficking, the dangers of human trafficking, and to teach them some tricks and coercions that may encounter them from trying to exploit them. They have also begun to do TV shows, which include soap operas that are based around human trafficking. There are a number of human trafficking campaigns that are currently being used to help women, men, and children understand the danger of taking jobs from people that are far away and these jobs are not credible. They are trying to reach out to everyone and warn them so that they don't fall victim to this human trafficking scam. Okay, so once someone has been rescued from these terrible brothels and places that they are living in while being exploited, there are government-run homes and shelters for these people who has been exposed to this human trafficking. You know, rings that allow them to live somewhere that's decent, have food, and have freedom. Africa has set new legislations in place since 2009 to help with prevention and the unlawfulness of trafficking acts. The last preventive measure there is to use is the National Human Traffic Resource Center hotline. If you or anyone you know that has been exposed to human trafficking or anything can call this resource center at any time. They're there 24/7 to help anyone. They will go get you and stop the human trafficking from pursuing any more men, women, or children. So, to summarize this presentation and to conclude it as well, I just want to make sure to reiterate that human trafficking, it is real, and that it affects more than just a few people in a different country each year. Human trafficking doesn't have to just be about sexual exploitation. If you refer back to the definition, human trafficking includes anything that's dealing with trafficking. Human trafficking can be prevented. It just takes someone to do the right thing to start it. So, lastly, human trafficking is not something that can't happen to you or someone you know, because human trafficking is everywhere. And it is even becoming more and more prevalent in America each and every day. Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming. At this time, I'm going to have a question and answer session. So, if anyone has any questions, feel free to answer. Feel free to answer.
What part of Africa was the most trafficking?
In South Africa, 75% occurred in South Africa.
Why Africa versus other countries?
Because Africa promises more education, marriages, and all those sorts of things like that.
Okay. I seen in your presentation that you said 80% are females and half of that 80 is children. Is there a reason why they're more targeted versus males?
Because the women are more vulnerable, you know, so therefore they are easy to get.
Okay, so that's it.
Thank you.